أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Inshallah, we shall continue from where we stopped yesterday, inshallah. We've been explaining the guidance of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as regards the salah, the qira'ah on salah, what he used to read on salah. And yesterday we talked about the way he used to recite some other chapters or surah of the Quran after reciting Faatiha. We started from Al-Zuhur and Al-Asr to Maghrib and Isha. So we emphasized on Al-Maghrib. So the way people think today, they think reading short chapters on Maghrib is the best and the guidance of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Though the Prophet used to read short chapters sometimes, but sometimes he would read long chapters as well. And we said sometimes he would even read Suratul A'raf in the 2 rak'ah, sometimes 2. And we gave a good instance of one of the Sahaba, radiyallahu anhu. He used to fervently pray with short chapters. And the name of the Sahaba is Mirwan. So may Allah be pleased with him. So when one of the Sahaba, another Sahaba saw him, that was Zayd ibn Thabit, doing this. So Ankara Ali. He told him that what is this guidance of the Prophet? He rejected this action of his. So then they now brought the riwayat from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as regards to Salatul Maghrib, that sometimes he even used to read Alif Lam Mim Sad, Safat, long surah in the Quran. So this is where we stopped yesterday. Inshallah, today we are going to be continuing from there. Isha, we said the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam sometimes used to read Suratul, and he even gave Mu'adh ibn Jabal radiyallahu anhu a time for Salatul Isha when they reported him that he used to elongate the Salah, and he asked him, Afattanun ant, do you want to be a problematic someone? And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Mu'adh ibn Jabal sometimes used to recite Suratul Baqarah in Isha. So, and the Prophet now corrected him on this action. So, the guidance of the Prophet in Isha is that he used to recite Ash-Shams wa duhaha, Sabbih isma rabbika al-a'la, wal-layli idha yaghsha, and the likes. Now, inshallah, where we are going to start today, فَتَعَلَّقَ النَّقَّارُونَ بِهَذِهِ الْكَلْمَةِ. النَّقَّارُونَ, they are just like, النَّقَّار is someone that picks something from naqru. So, النَّقَّارُونَ, because of the hadith that was reported from the Prophet ﷺ that he told Mu'adh ibn Jabal, أَفَتَّانٌ أَنْتَ. So many people now think, the Prophet corrected Mu'adh ibn Jabal because he was reading a long chapter. So definitely the salah should not be too long. It should be short chapter. So these people, they now, took this hadith and they began to generalize that since the Prophet told Mu'adh ibn Jabal afattanun ant, then we don't have to elongate the salah. Is this the way? No. وَلَمْ يَلْتَفِتُوا إِلَى مَا قَبْلَهَا وَمَا بَعْدَهَا. They never looked back at some of the hadiths that were reported that the Prophet ﷺ used to elongate the salah. So they just took that statement and they began to generalize that the salah should not be elongated. Because the Prophet told Mu'adh ibn Jabal, أَفَتَّانٌ and no. So we have to look at them separately.
They just took what they like.
They took what they like. So, وأما الجمعة, for the case of Jum'ah, فكان يقرأ فيها بسورتي الجمعة والمنافقين. Jum'ah, the Prophet ﷺ used to recite Suratul Jum'ah itself and Suratul Munafiqeen. وسورتي صبه والغاشية. Sometimes it would recite Suratul Al-A'la, and sometimes it would recite Suratul Ghashiyah. وأما الأعياد for Eid الأضحى والفطر, the Prophet ﷺ فتارة يقرأ بقاف واقتربت الساعة وانشق القمر. Sometimes he would recite Qaf and اقتربت الساعة. كاملتين, completely. Both surah, كاملتين, he would recite them from the beginning to the end. وتارة بسبح والغاشية. Sometimes he would recite سبح and غاشية. I think we explained this 2 days ago. So, وهذا الهدي الذي استمر عليه إلى أن لقي الله عز وجل. This is the guidance that the Prophet ﷺ used to do till he died. ولهذا أخذ به الخلفاء, and this is what the companions of the Prophet took from him. فقرأ أبو بكر, Abu Bakr رضي الله عنه, he read سورة البقرة حتى سلم قريبا من طلوع الشمس. By the time he finished the salah, the sun was about to rise. سلم حتى الوقت قريب من طلوع الشمس. The time was about, the sun was about to rise through the recitation of Suratul Baqarah. وكان بعده عمر, after Abu Bakr, Umar رضي الله عنه يقرأ فيها بيوسف. So Umar رضي الله عنه, he used to recite Surah Yusuf. والنحل وهود وبني إسرائيل. Do we know Surah Bani Israel? Surah Al-Isra. He used to recite Surah Al-Isra. ونحوها. وأما قوله, but the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he said, أيكم أما الناس فليخفف. Whoever leads people, he should make the salah to be what will I use? Is it to be light, to be moderate, not too long, not too short. So this hadith, فَتَخْفِيفُ أَمْرٌ نَسَبِي. Takhfif, lightness here, is relational. Is relational. That يرجع فيه إلى ما فعله النبي. The relation is going to go back to what the Prophet ﷺ used to do. لا إلى شهوات المأمومين. Not the wishes and the whims of the people praying behind the imam. You know, ordinarily, like somebody raised the question the other day, that what about in Ramadan? So if we are going to go about the wishes of the ma'mumun, we will say, in Ramadan, let's just be reciting Suratul Ikhlas and Suratul Khawthar. So it still relates to the guidance of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not the wishes of those people praying behind the imam. Because if we are going to go with their wish, we'll just be reciting small verses. Do we get that? Not following the teachings of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam again. So, and this is how the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do, because هو الحاكم في كل ما تنازع فيه المتنازعون. The Prophet is the one who judges people from whenever they have misunderstanding or they have argument. وكان لا يعين سورة بعينها لا يقرأه إلا بها. The Prophet will not select a surah except he read it. So regardless of the longevity of that surah, لا يعين سورة لا يقرأه إلا بها. He will not select a surah except he read it. So that is the guidance of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So inshallah we shall stop here as regards to the salah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is what we should, and let me quickly note this within the 1 minute that I want to. So كان من هدي قراءة السورة. The guidance of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is that he used to read surah. وَرُبَّمَا قَرَأَهَا فِي الرَّكْعَتَيْنِ. The surah he used to read, sometimes he would divide it into two. Read part of it in the first rak'ah and complete it in the second rak'ah. وَأَمَّا قِرَاءَةُ أَوَاخِرِ السُّورَةِ. But reading the tail end of the surah. وَأَوْسَاطُهَا, or the middle of a surah. فَلَمْ يُحْفَظْ عَنْ. It was not recorded from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What am I saying? For instance, let's say Suratul Buruj. Then somebody begins from Inna alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat. Lahum min tahtiha al-anhar. Like the middle or towards the tail end. So it is not a record. We don't have this record from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he used to read the whole surah. He would divide it into two. Read part of it, the first rak'ah, and the second part in the second rak'ah. But reading from the middle or towards the tail end of the surah is not something that the Prophet ﷺ used to do. We are not saying if someone does it, the salah is not valid. Please, don't get me wrong. The salah is valid. So we are talking about the guidance of the Prophet ﷺ here. If you want to really follow the teachings of the Prophet. If one does it, read from the middle or towards the tail end, the salah is valid. لأن القراءة ما تيسر. Qira'ah should be what is easy for you. If it is the tail end that you know, you can read it. But the guidance of the Prophet, there is not a record from the Prophet ﷺ. So وَأَمَّا قِرَاءَةُ السُّورَتَيْنِ فِي الرَّكْعَةِ. Also, reading two surah in one rak'ah. فَكَانَ يَفْعَلُهُ فِي النَّافِلَةِ. The Prophet ﷺ used to do it in nafila, not salatul farida. Reading two surah in one rak'ah. The Prophet used to do it in nafila. وَأَمَّا قِرَاءَةُ سُورَةِ وَاحِدَةٍ فِي رَكْعَتَيْنِ مَعًا فَكُلَّمَا كَانَ فَكُلَّمَا كَانَ يَفْعَلُهُ. Then reading one surah in two rak'ah together. قراءة سورة في ركعتين معا. Reading one surah in both rak'ah. So فَكُلَّمَا كَانَ يَفْعَلُهُ. It is not something that he used to do more often. وَكَانَ يُطِيلُ الرَّكَعَةَ الْأُولَى. He used to elongate the first rak'ah على الثانية more than he would elongate the second rak'ah min kulli salah, in all of his salah. So this is the guidance of the Prophet, and this is where we are going to stop on the recitation after qira'atul Faatiha. Inshallah, the next lesson of ours is going to be ruku'un Nabiyyi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, how he used to perform ruku'. So do we have any question or no question? No. Inshallah, we pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us aright. Subhanakallahum wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
اللهم رحمتك أرجو فلا تكلني إلى نفسي طرفة عين وأصلح لي شأني كله لا إله إلا أنت